This is what it did last time. It says recording in progress. I
Yes.
don't know what happened to it last week, but anyway. All right, so my apologize.
Dave, hello.
My apologies to all the Dave and Dave fans out there, all three, because we had some technical difficulties last week. Unfortunately, because we really had sort of a stellar week. Um, I'll allow my partner here to maybe glow and uh, talk rhapsodic about how wonderful his picks were in all sorts of sports last week. Go ahead. What happened last week? Well, there's
We
no way
did
for
well.
us
You
to
did
tell
great
them.
in
There's no
college.
way.
It was a
Yeah,
total switch.
yeah, college was awesome. I was
Anybody that
fun in
is
college.
watching the show or wants to review programs, we're doing very well in college this year. I mean, let's just put it out where it is.
Yeah.
We're doing great. My pros have not been good. A lot of 2 and 3s where you've done 3 and 2s, you've done 4 and 1s. Your pros have been pretty respectable. Um, Last week, my pros were great. We're still doing really well in college, and we're going to follow that up. Yeah, we had some technical difficulties. These things happen, but we're quite pleased,
All right.
Trotta.
So if you're not going to brag about it, I am. Okay,
All
ready?
right,
You see this
ready,
thing
baby.
right here? Hang on and try to see that we get it. Hey, you see that name right up on the top of that? All right, that's somebody we know. That's Gulf Coast Dave. That is a pool, a weekly pool where you pick against the spread. 422 people. And guess who finished on top? All alone, number one, the grand prize winner for this week. The guy, that guy. Oh no, yeah, well, go, boy.
I I
It's that way. That guy. I was the
I sharpened
that
up my
guy over there.
darts and
He won it.
threw it at the board.
I've been in this
Yeah,
since
we won the
well, I was,
pool.
I'm not in it this year. I have to say, I'm not in it this year. But I had been in it for
Well,
16, 17 years. I never won a weekly pool. I did have some good finishes in the year-long contest. Came in second one year, as a matter of fact. So I'm ahead of the game in the pool.
Dave,
Now you're ahead
yes.
of the game too, because you just took home the grand prize this week, which is pretty significant. Fantastic handicapping. Don't sell yourself short on any kind of speed handicapping because sometimes that's the only way you're going to get it done. They're loaded into the gate. You gotta come up with something
You
fast.
got to feel for something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta come up with something fast.
No,
And you did
my
it.
mornings were terrible, and then I swept the rest. I mean, Giants, Browns, a lot of home dogs took me through, and that's what we've been doing is home dogs. It's just these favorites have been kicking ass in the NFL. It hasn't really kicked our ass because we're pretty respectable at even 3 and 2, 2 and 3. Um, but last week the home dogs did come through, especially in the afternoon. Uh, my Giants, Jameis couldn't win the game, but we certainly covered. And no, good week, and thank you for that. We need the accolades because there's plenty of weeks where it's very rough.
You did it. Now you're ahead of the game for a while because you're a rookie practically. You've only been in it for a few years.
3 years, yeah.
You got house money to play with for a while now in the week long pool. 422 people. It used to be more. COVID kind of knocked the numbers down in the pool a little bit. Other things, crappy economy. You can tell me all you want about this great economy we're in. We're in a shit economy. Anyway, that's my political statement for the day. Down to
That day.
422 in the pool where we used to have 500 people. It's still a nice chunk of change when you win. And the man over there,
I
he
ex I accept.
yeah,
Um,
that was
and you
great.
also had a winner in kickball, correct?
Yeah, I did, but they don't know about it because we couldn't get the show onto the YouTube. But anyway, yeah, we had a good. Oh, well, we have Greece against Scott. Yeah, it was only even money. It was only even money, a little bit more, like plus
A
120 or
W,
something.
a W, my
Anyway, yeah,
friend.
the W. Greece
Yeah.
came through against Scotland. We had a great week in college football, 4-1, with all sorts of winners all over the place.
Yeah, you
We're
had
gonna do
some
it again.
beauties.
We're gonna do it again. So we're gonna start off.
Kentucky was gorgeous. You had some outright winners in your
Yeah, I'm going
underdogs.
back to the well again.
Yeah.
I've been looking at it, and I've been looking at the teams that have treated me well and you but definitely me well, and some of the teams that have not. And I'm going back to the well again this week with Kentucky, but that's for a little bit down the road here.
I
Kickball
can't
across the
believe
pond. They're
they're
on international break,
yeah.
and they come back in action. They get back in action on Friday, a couple of the big leagues, but other guys, I think we got to wait till Saturday rather. I'm going with my teams that were recently promoted that were in the championship league last year and are playing very well this year. For two different reasons. Sunderland is out of their minds, playing so great. They're in fourth place in the Premier League after being
Awesome.
in the lower league last year. They're playing Fulham on the road. They're still not giving them enough respect. Um, I'm looking at the draw. I'm looking at the draw. Fulham at home against Sunderland, plus 220 on the draw. Fulham's 115 favorite. Even money against these guys? I don't know. I don't see it. I mean, yes, are they probably both kind of, is Sunderland probably a middle of the table team at best? Probably. They're up at the top now, but they're not going to be there at the end of the year. But anyway, they can play with these guys. They've been playing with everybody all year long. Give them another shot. They've been treating me well, just like Kentucky. And I'm going with Sunderland for a draw on the road against Fulham plus 220. And the next game is, and this is more not necessarily because of the strength of the teams, especially since Aston Villa, they started off the season very poorly. They've been been fairly hot lately. They've been playing very well. I just think they're a little bit too much of a favorite here at Leeds. Leeds at home is they're they're terrific. They've been good. They've even been good in the Premier League this year. With maybe one exception, or they lost at home. So I'm willing to take a crack at them. Um, and I'm not going for the draw. I'm taking them to win the game. I'm taking Leeds plus 200 at home against Aston Villa, and hope that Leeds can keep that live at Leeds home field advantage, home pitch advantage. You're laughing at that live at Leeds reference.
Good concert
Yeah,
there. Very good.
yeah. With the fake bootleg cover that they issued with that, they're
I love
ahead of
that.
the curve as far as understanding that there were a lot of bootlegs out there. And
Quite a few.
it's a great out. It's a
I think we had a couple in the basement.
yeah, sure. All righty, and that's it for kickball. I got
All right.
a
We'll go with the
draw and
Leeds.
Leeds at home to win the game.
A nice surprise in the a lot of surprises in
The
the
promoted
Premier
teams,
League this year.
let them do something this week.
Yeah. All right, Dave Areen.
All right, go to college.
Since
What do you got? Yeah,
you
I'm
were
sure you got something either Thursday or Friday, which I do.
I don't, to be honest with you. I know we will bet,
No.
but the teams I was flipping and a flopping, and I struggled with college this year. This week. This year we're doing well. So why don't you lead us off since you had 4-1 last week. Very nice week.
We were talking about this team earlier in the day, and the more I looked at the game, the more I started to like the team that I was kind of making fun of earlier for that.
Right.
I'm looking at a good, nice top 20 matchup or top 25 matchup between Oklahoma and Missouri. I don't know about you, but I didn't think Oklahoma looked all that good. I mean, I wanted them to play well, and I wanted them to win and cover, which they did, but I just didn't think they looked all that good again. Um, I'm just seeing this as kind of a big line, kind of Oklahoma, coming down off a sky high win. Um, I'm going with Missouri plus 7.5. I am going against the grain of what I've been doing a lot lately is taking home teams in college. This weekend, I got nothing but road warriors. I need these guys to jump on the bus or the plane or whatever the hell it is, jump on their bad motor scooter. Is another rock and roll reference. I don't know if you're going to get that one. I don't know if anybody's going to get that one. Um, Montrose on the Montrose album. Terrific song called Bad Motor Scooter. Anyway, jump on your bad motor scooter and ride. Missouri plus 7.5 against Oklahoma is my first college pick of the week. They're in games. They're in games. Missouri, they don't really, they don't seem to get blown out. They had a couple of close games. They probably should have won. So let's see.
I've been on Missouri all year, and they broke my heart against A&M. But that quarterback was just a little over his head, and A&M is strong. Okay, that was a great pick on your part. another one of your good picks, taking Oklahoma, and they win outright. But I agree. They didn't look toward, oh, who's that gorgeous? Oh my gosh.
You.
They're breaking my
My guest
heart.
star.
Uh, that's nice, little smack in the cheek. That's very nice.
Saw
They
that?
give us good
Saw that?
luck.
Was Michelle.
Anyway, let's get right back into
She's a goddess.
yes, gorgeous. Uh, my first pick, I can't say it's a dog. I'm going with the Mustangs from SMU. Um, they sit at 5-1 in the ACC, and they're the team nobody's talking about. Everybody's Georgia Tech. They
Yeah,
got
and
to
last year
win
they
to do
couldn't stop
this.
talking about them because they were doing so well, and they were the got
Exactly.
into the tournament when oh, we shouldn't have been in there. They should have been in there. They had a great season, and they might have been the best team in the ACC last year.
All
This
right,
year they're
huge.
good and right.
Yeah,
Everybody's looking down on them right
a
now. Not
very
questionable. The
uncharacteristic
conference
loss.
is weird.
Yeah, it's a
I
weird
give you that. I
conference.
give you that.
Yes,
And I'm going to
yes.
be talking about one of the teams in that conference later on in the show because yeah, it's like right now they're talking the ACC is going to get one team into the field of 60. They're getting one. They're not getting two. So you better win all your games. You better get into that championship game, and then you better win that championship game because you're the only team that's getting into this thing. Nobody is getting in out of the ACC as an at-large team. They all have multiple losses or
Right.
whatever. I mean, even Georgia Tech. If Georgia Tech is not able to run out, and people are going to look at like well, who they lose to, and then they're not going to be considered one of the top 16 teams. So forget it.
It's an ugly ACC this year. You can't
Yeah.
tell me that Virginia is really strong or Pitt
No, the
or
games have
even
been good. The
smooth,
games have been
you know?
entertaining, but the teams don't.
Yeah.
The,
Miami,
the
everybody's
eye
got
test
this
they fail it.
illusion. How can Miami be, they're 4-2, 8-2. Um, anyway, I'm taking Smoo against Louisville. Uh,
How many?
Louisville,
What's
that
the
was a
line on?
it's the line is 2.5. What do you got?
No, not looking at. I'm just asking you.
Okay. 2.5 is my spread. Um, Louisville lost a very disappointing loss to Clemson, as we both know. We should have had that game. I don't see a rebound here, even at home. And Smoo is very good on the road. I see Louisville just kind of cashing in, 4-3, 7-3. They'll go to a bowl game for sure. But I really wasn't impressed with their offense. I think the boys from Utah got it together. SMU Mustangs on the road against Louisville -2.5 first pick.
Right. Okay, so number two for me, I am actually looking at a bunch of games that at least have at least one ranked team, and in some cases two. So I am looking at a game that former former Pac-10, Pac-12 adversaries going against each other now that they're both in the Big Ten, which I still can't get used to saying because I will never think of USC as a Big Ten team. I'll never think of Oregon as a Big Ten team. Yet here we are. And we got Oregon at home. I think Oregon, they haven't shown me enough on offense to be laying 9.5 points to USC.
Jesus.
I'm sorry.
Such
I'm
a
sorry.
big number.
And I know that USC has a tendency to maybe give up a few here and there. They're
Yeah.
not any kind of hermetically sealed defense. But I like the fact that I think they could score some points here, even though really Oregon has won some of these close defensive battles. I think we might even get one here. I really do. I don't think this is necessarily going to be a high scoring game. Taking USC plus 9.5 against Oregon.
All right. No, I looked at that game hard. And what scares me is USC against Notre Dame. We both had them. And I know, but I think that's way too many points. Yeah, I'm on board with you, although it's not in my 5 picks. My number 2 picks, I'm going back to the well, and that would be the well of the Temple Owls. They're facing, this is a huge, huge game going against the Green Wave. Green Wave ranked, but Temple's a little, they're a sneaky 3-3 in the American Conference, 5-5 altogether. Um, Tulane at the top with Navy. I look the Owls to hang around, especially at home. I think, this is a huge game, obviously, to be bowl eligible and huge for the program, program. And they're playing a beast.
Say
Why it
program?
isn't more of a
Did
spread,
she say program?
I did. I threw that in there just for you. Um, yeah, they need a good showing here, even in a loss, to be bowl eligible. Because I think they could take their last game against Texas State. But look for Temple to show up at home. Um, Tulane very strong, but I believe Temple will cover. Take the 8.5 at home. Temple Owls.
Right, you love that. You love that conference, man.
I, I,
Okay,
I
Temple at home plus
if
eight.
it's
I
if it's
looked at the game. I thought about Temple. I moved up. Moved on to a few of the more high-profile
all
conference
right.
schedules. So here's another one. Now this is a game that you got to go way back. You have to be our age to remember when this was a huge game. Texas versus Arkansas. Back
For sure.
when Lou Holtz was the coach at Arkansas and Darrell Royal was probably
Hey, Jimmy
Texas
Johnson for
most of those
me.
games. Yeah, I'm going with this one. I see Texas with a little bit of drop off. Maybe I think everybody seems to look past Arkansas in this conference, and then Arkansas can bite you. Arkansas can move the
No
ball.
doubt.
Arkansas's got a top quarterback and a big time passing game, and they can also run the ball a bit. Um, maybe Texas defense can shut these guys down better than most teams have. Texas does have a pretty good D, but I just kind of see this as last week to this week, getting all geared up for last week and coming up short against
Big
Georgia,
time.
especially in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Um, Maybe a little bit of everybody's looking at everybody else on Texas right now, saying, "What the fuck is wrong with us?"
Yeah.
I could see them losing this game. See them losing this game. So I'm going with Arkansas plus 8.5 over Texas.
Huge number that a team, for a team to cover that really didn't look good last week. I think Georgia,
Oh, they
even the
looked good
game
for three
was
quarters.
it was
They looked
close, but
scary.
they were still dominating.
And
It
then
just seemed that it was just a matter of time. And sure enough, well, I did learn something last week, and I learned not to go against my Monarchs. I took Troy, as everyone, or yeah,
at least
and
you bet them. At least you bet them live. You came back to
I was
your
losing
senses.
14-0, and I said, "Hey, I made a mistake."
If
All
you can't
right,
beat them, join them.
exactly. And I took a 2-unit live bet minus 20.5, and Old Dominion crushed them.
Got the job done.
This is a team, if I was ever going to use the word program, who's totally changed their whole makeup uh,
They weren't
completely.
even, they weren't Division One. They weren't.
Right, right.
They were a basketball team. Actually, they weren't even a
Exactly. Old
basketball
Dominion
school.
was
They
known
were
for,
a women's basketball school
yeah,
for decades. They had great women's basketball teams. They didn't even have good guys teams, and now they have a pretty decent football team. They really
yes,
do.
they're very decent. You know, what they need is they want to be bowl eligible, and they're playing against Georgia Southern. This is a team with a bunch of injuries. They're mediocre in the Sun Belt Conference. The Monarchs are going to lay it on them just like they did to Troy. They have to run up these scores.
How
They
many are they
want to,
getting?
yeah, they want to get into a good bowl, and
They're
they got
going
the
to be
team
in
to
a
do
good
it.
bowl. Yeah, they're going to be in a bowl game for sure. And yeah, maybe
Yes,
even a decent one. Yeah.
no doubt about it. You're laying a big number here. It's 12. I have Old Dominion minus 12, but I think they're on the road favorites, dangerous, but dangerous to take, that is. But I think the Monarchs will be dangerous here and really stick it to Georgia Southern. That's the Old Dominion Monarchs on the road. Minus 12 is my fourth pick.
All right. Moving on. I'm going to dance with the girl that brought me on this one. I'm going against a team that we've loved over the last couple seasons. But I don't understand why Kentucky doesn't get any respect week in and week out. They were a big dog against Auburn. They kicked their ass.
Yes.
Other games in the, I mean, yeah, okay, I get it. It's Kentucky, but now again, Vanderbilt. All right, I know they're good. They're good, but no way Kentucky should be getting 9.5 points in a game that I think they can actually win. Another one.
Yeah.
Think Arkansas can win their game? I always think that any kind of time you have a dog who's anything less than 3 touchdowns, you got to hope that they at least can, be in the game and maybe win it. But certainly under 10 points, you got to think your team can win. And I think all my teams so far can win. And the one I'm a little scared of is USA, but they're getting a bunch of points, so hopefully they hang in there and do it. Wait. I think Arkansas can win. I certainly think Kentucky can win, even though they're getting 9.5 points at Vandy. All right, I know, and I like Vanderbilt's coach. I like everything about Vanderbilt, especially the coach. But I really like Kentucky's defense, and Vanderbilt has had a couple of these games this year where when they struggle to score, they struggle to win. They struggle to win when they can score points. They're in way better shape.
Yeah.
They're going to have a hard time against this Kentucky defense. Is really underrated. I don't know why people aren't acknowledging how good their defense is. So I'm going Kentucky plus 9.5 against Vanderbilt.
I'm befuddled with that number. It's such a huge number. And I think it's because, the respect for Vandy for sure.
Yeah, they're
But
good.
they're coming off a bye week too, which I don't trust. I don't trust those bye weeks. Certain coaches got it, most of them don't. And they get off to a slow start against Kentucky. You're right.
Yeah,
They
they're
could
going to
lose
be in
that
trouble.
game.
Yep.
Yeah.
In trouble.
All right. Let's finish it up real quick. I got another monster. I don't like to
I
lay
only
these
have you
big.
down for 3 games.
Um,
For 3. SMU,
oh,
Temple.
that's right. I'm turning the page over here. Let's take BYU. I like the Cougars against Cincinnati.
Ooh,
Cincinnati broke my heart. Are we going for a pizza?
half a
Because
pizza.
Cincinnati broke my heart last week. I lost a pizza to you against Arizona. And even though they only lost by, what was it, 6 or 7?
Here's my 5 picks, but underneath it, I have Cincinnati written.
All right.
So
Well,
half a pizza, a couple slices,
couple
a couple
slices.
slices on this game. And
Bro, the
tell me
Cougars are
why you
still
like BYU.
smarting from Texas Tech for sure in that Big 12 crown showdown.
Yeah,
But they came back
they
to
got
handle TCU very well. I thought
Yeah,
that was
they
well.
did.
And Cincinnati did not look good. I bet them, and you had Arizona, and they just did not look good. I wasn't impressed at all. So I'm taking BYU on the road to remain in the Big 12 hunt, lay the
What's the line?
2.5,
Two
and
and a half on the road at Cincinnati, coming all the way from Provo, Utah to Cincinnati, the
they're a good
Queen
road
City.
team.
Also, kind of a rough, kind of a tough city. You got to watch out
Yeah,
for the ice. I think ice is in Cincinnati this weekend. Anyway, all those guys from Guam and Samoa who are on the BYU team, they're going to mistake them for Mexicans, round them up, and throw them in the truck.
well, I certainly hope not.
You better hope not.
Yes,
We need all hands on deck against the Cincinnati Bearcats.
Bearcats.
They were a little embarrassed there by those Arizona Wildcats. What I think about that game, Gulf Coast Dave, is that Arizona's been an underrated team all year. I think
Yes.
Arizona's an underrated team. They can move the ball. They've got not a college quarterback who's ever going to play in the NFL or anything, but he's a good college quarterback. He can throw the ball. He can run the ball. He's little, and then another reason why they don't get respect. He's small, but he's good. Um, and they did the job. They did the job against Cincinnati last week. I don't hold that against Cincinnati as much as I think people aren't giving enough credit to Arizona. But I don't want to contradict what you're saying on BYU. They bounced back really well against TCU because they kicked their ass
Yeah, they did.
that game. I watched that game, and I like TCU in that game. And BYU really
Yeah, you did.
did bounce back strong. Like that, all those games might say a hell of a lot about Texas Tech. Um, they're a little better, maybe.
And that was your pick to
They
blow
had
out
their one
BYU, and you were right.
they had their one, and they had their one misstep but well, Tech is probably going to be there in the tournament, and look out for those guys. They're pretty good. All right, I got one more in college, and I'm going to say that it is going to the ACC, which we were talking about, trying to be diplomatic about it earlier. I guess it's how fucked up this conference is. And I'm taking a team that really let me down last week in their performance against Notre Dame. But I think Notre Dame is a different animal from what we're looking at in the ACC these days. And I think Georgia Tech has been getting by. They've been getting by. Let's just say they've been getting by. Anyway, I think come on. Why is this line so low? Why is this line so low with Georgia Tech in the driver's seat in the ACC?
Right.
2.5 against Pittsburgh. Taking the Pitt Panthers all day long. I'm taking a 2.5 on the road. Let's go. Road Warriors. I got 5 of them. I got Mizzou. I got USC. I got Arkansas. I got Kentucky. And I got Pittsburgh on the road, taking that little itty bitty 2.5 because watch this game go double overtime and we lose by 2. And we're winners. All right.
Yeah, Pitt had their worst game. Yeah, worst game last week. All right, I'm going for another monster here, real quick. Right down the street from me, South Florida Bulls. They're going to put a whooping on the Blazers from UAB.
You're the ones
You know, South Florida is still pissed off from losing to Navy, who's got a good team, but they still got a chance for the playoffs and the American Conference, and also an excellent road game. South Florida's got a killer offense. You know that. We both know that. Look for them to take it to the Blazers, who have a nice story with Kitna being, his dad's a quarterback and the coach was
took down Memphis, right? They beat somebody good earlier.
Yes, they did. They upset Memphis, who we both know is a team that, you might as well twist your head around. They're great one week and they're terrible the next. But I count on being the Blazers terrible this week. Lay the 21. South Florida, is just going to bully their way through.
Yeah, my two bonus picks are Cincy, so we're going for a couple slices on that one. And
all right.
Also, kind of like Colorado against Arizona State.
Oof, I looked at that. Why is that spread so low? Yeah, that's smelly.
Yeah,
Smelly.
I think we might be onto something with this new freshman quarterback that we got in there.
I hope so.
We finally got it right. We definitely did not get it right with that kid who transferred from Liberty. He sucked.
No.
But I'm looking at an Arizona State team that I think on the road, amidst all the other big games and everything, maybe not looking at this one quite as much of a big game. I think maybe Colorado can catch Arizona State napping here a little bit and make a game out of it. I'm biased too, so that's not one of my picks. That was just a bonus pick. All right,
Buffs. All right, let's jump right to the NFL. Knock us off, Dave. You got anything for tomorrow night?
Which game is
the Texans?
No, I'm on. I'm on that one. Yeah, I'm playing Buffalo. Not impressing me. A terrible game against Miami a couple weeks ago. This is all about Houston's defense. I don't give a shit who's playing quarterback. I know they're not going to score a lot of points. I just think Houston maybe can sort of control this game, run the ball on Buffalo,
run the ball.
That's why Miami schooled them the way they did. Run the ball on these guys, and with that good Houston defense at home, they're still kind of in it. Houston's still looking at getting to the playoffs. And, you got to do something here. It doesn't matter that you're playing one of the teams that is considered to be one of the top teams in the league. I'm not sure if they are. But I am taking Houston +6 against Buffalo.
Well, you're picking again because I'm there with you. As long as Texas, like you say, I love it. We're getting 6 over here as well at Hard Rock for sure. As long as they,
I write all your picks down. You know that.
I have a feeling. Yes.
black and white on the
in
base.
black and white, not in ink. Is that in ink?
Oh yeah, it's an ink.
Um, yeah, as long as they stick to the script, run the
Fluid.
football. I mean, uh, that's the ticket against the Bills. I
All
think
right.
if Tampa Bay did that a little bit more, they would have been a little bit more successful. But
Well,
run the
I think
football against Buffalo, you should be okay. All right, give us your second
you're
pick.
gonna have to pick on the next one because I am going with the little bit of a weirdo, a gigantic home team underdog. In fact, I have three home teams up. In college, I had all five teams on the road. In pros, I have all five teams are at home. Three of them are home team underdogs. The next one is a big home team underdog, and that is the Tennessee Titans at home against the Seattle Mariners, whatever the fuck they are. Seahawks.
Seahawks
Yeah.
today, but
Yeah.
Mariners yesterday.
Yeah.
All right, all right.
Um, Seahawks coming off that, kind of getting pushed around by the Rams a little bit, made a little bit of a feeble comeback. Unfortunately for me, covered. Um, again, I look at last week's game as they were all geared up for that big clash of the NFC West Titans, and now they're going to go play. What a lot of people are looking at as the worst team in the league. Um, kind of like what I've seen from Tennessee in some games lately. Last week's game, hey, they didn't win, but they covered.
We covered, baby.
You just have to
Just win,
you
baby.
just have to stay on the field with these guys, and I think they can. I think they can. I'm taking Tennessee plus 13.5 against Seattle. Boom, it's done.
All right.
Thanks.
Let's jump to a team that from week to week you cannot tell. You don't know how they're going to play. But I'm hoping that Jacoby Brissett has got the Cardinals ready. I think this line is a little smelly. Cards plus 2.5 against Jacksonville. You know, Jacksonville had their great game last week, and the big surprise. So here's the surprise that the Cardinals do show up. 49ers manhandled them last week. Thank you very much. We had them. But now Jacksonville flies all the way to Arizona. And I look for the Cardinals to, respond. They are dogs getting 2.5 at home against Jacksonville. Take Arizona.
So, are you saying that Arizona is the Jekyll and Hyde team, or that Jacksonville is?
Both of them.
Okay, fine. Because you're gonna have to pick again. Because I have Arizona.
Okay.
And my thinking was not so much that, I mean, they've been a little disappointing for the most part, but I already talked about this on the show a couple weeks ago about how I think they're going to end up going with Jacoby Brissett as their quarterback because they can't rely upon Kyler Murray, not to be healthy, but to to play decently. And I think you can expect a certain level of play out of Brissett. They got their ass kicked last week, but Jacksonville is the Jekyll and Hyde team of the NFL. And I think this week they come up Mr. Hyde. I think last week was Dr. Jekyll. That's the Chargers, and they stomped, and now everybody's on Jacksonville in this game. On the road, AZ all the way. You're up. Next pick.
Okay. The Bears. Let's go to the Bears. Yeah, the Steelers shot their load last week. I had them against Cincinnati. Okay, great. But even though I think the Bears are a little bit too hyped up, this line seems just perfect. Minus 2.5 at home against the Steelers. Should be a defensive battle. I look for the under as well, but I'll take the Bears. I'll lay the 2.5 at home. They're surging, yes, but they're not, the next the champion of the Midwest of the
Oh, you're gonna have to pick again. You're gonna
Are
have
you kidding?
to again. Obviously, I mean, I've been against Pittsburgh all week, and Chicago's on a roll.
Yeah.
Don't see this as I don't see it as a low scoring tough game that the Bears win. I see it as an ass kicking.
Really? Okay.
Where the Bears score plenty against this shitty Pittsburgh defense, and Pittsburgh without their QB is in big trouble in this game. And I don't even understand why And maybe it's that the odds makers didn't respect the fact that Aaron Rodgers was their quarterback to begin with. But I'm on the Bears all day here. -2.5, a gift at home against the Steelers. The Bears.
Well, we're
You're up
great
again.
minds think alike. I guess I'm
You're up
almost
again.
I want to hand this one to you because I think we're going to be picking the same on this. So I'll jump around a little bit and I'll jump to the uh Eagles, which I do like over the Cowboys. They're laying 3, but all this poof about, the Cowboys, I'm not buying it, not at all. And the Eagles always save their best efforts against the boys from Dallas. Lay the 3. It's an afternoon game. Have a nice margarita and collect some money. Eagles -3 at Dallas. Probably a very popular pick, but I still like Philadelphia.
I have a hard time going at just the logical pick there as well. I mean, can you really see what the Dallas defense standing up? And I know Philly's offense has been a little sketchy lately, but against these guys, everybody gets healthy against these guys.
Yes.
The Giants scored 40 points against these guys. I mean, come on. Uh, they're garbage, and yeah, they got their win against the Raiders. The Raiders are the coldest team in the NFL right now. They won their opening week. They've won one game since the first game of the season, so that's not really impressing me that much. Although I did think the Raiders would play better against the Cowboys, because I thought they'd be able to move the ball and score a lot of points, like everybody else has against the Cowboys this year. Um, okay, I don't have that pick. So I got to put in my last and then your last, and we're almost to the 2 minute warning. So this is perfect.
I'm there.
My last pick of the day, I thought maybe you were going to go with this, but
I know we're together on this. I know it.
you're sure? All right. I'm looking at it's a good game, good matchup. One team playing pretty well, not necessarily their last couple games, but playing well this season against a team that is performing well below their normal standards. I'm taking the Chiefs at home, -3.5 against the Colts. They got to have it.
They got to have it.
Still
I
think
agree with
good enough.
that.
I still think they're good enough. I still
This is a
think they
game
show
they have to win.
flashes of the old Chiefs. For them to go down here, it would surprise me. It would surprise me. I think Indy still has a little bit to prove. As much as I want to see Daniel Jones win the MVP of the league, he's probably not going to. Anyway, Chiefs, we got a little over a minute for your
I
last.
got you, bro.
I'm going to sign off here with the Chiefs -3.5 against Indy, and I think they kick their ass. Okay.
All right. It's a nice pick because I agree. They do have to have it.
Yeah.
Here's a battle of the bad. So as soon as you started talking about competitive teams, I knew. But even though the Brownies are terrible on the road, and I'm hoping that Dylan Gabriel is back behind the center, I like the Browns on the road going to Vegas. Take the 3.5. These are two really terrible teams. But you can't tell me that the Raiders are going to start running the football all of a sudden against the Browns. And I don't see, the Raiders offense doing much. Although the Browns look pretty pathetic with Shedeur Sanders, it can't be much worse offensively. So I'll take the Browns getting 3.5 and a yawner against the Raiders in Las Vegas.
Getting 3.5?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
surprised I didn't take that one. All right. Guess what? Signing off. Dave and Dave.
Beautiful.
Make all your picks.
Let's collect some more.
And
win some pools.
make sure that this one gets up on YouTube this week.
Yeah, right. We miss your fedora. I thought it was maybe
guys.
the fedora that you did that on purpose. So
maybe I intentionally did not put that up.
But that was the secret minor vibe.
Jason.